Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Maggie Rose on songwriting and collaborating.
You have a strip down band now? You got Caitlin Connor on keys, Kyle Lewis on guitar, Judd Fuller on bass, and Tim Burkhead on drums. Saw some
Yeah.
videos from earlier that the band seemed larger. Did you decide to tighten it up? Is it the same band you've played with for a while?
Yes. So the band that's with me, Caitlin and Kyle, have been playing with me for a long time. Caitlin's over 6 years at this point. What you probably saw was when Them Vibes was joining me. So Brother Love and Alex Rahal, who I mentioned from Have a Seat. I've written a bunch of songs with them too. Uh, they were touring with me for a long time. They would play a Them Vibe set, and then they would join me for my set. And Alex is a great guitar player. Larry would sing background vocals and play percussion. So it was a nice outfit to travel with for a while. But my touring band is the four that you mentioned.
Okay, cool. Now, do you feel it's important to collaborate with a larger pool of artists, or is it a matter of convenience on who I can work with, who makes themselves available?
For this record that I have coming out, I definitely kept the list of collaborators shorter than I normally would. I think that was partly just because of the subject matter being more personal. I was sort of circulating these ideas within this small group of people. Chuck Harmony and Claude Kelly are two writers that I have written over 20 songs with. And some of them I anticipate I will release in the future when those songs make sense in the context of the album. But yeah, the writing was super focused. I feel proud to say that it always has been, but I used to use more often like the collective we on previous projects because that's what the songs called for. And it was a response to like what was going on with our breakdown in communication in society. And this was more I and a little bit more, just zoomed in on things that I feel like I'm dealing with, but I know other people are as well. So I think that's why I didn't collaborate with as many people across the board.
We always makes me think of arena rock songs or we songs, and
Yeah,
intimate songs or I songs.
for sure. I just saw like the 1975 the other night, and they are the epitome of arena rock, and it was awesome. But like, there's a lot of we songs in those ones where you can see the crowd is like they're part of it, and I love that atmosphere too. But this song, I listened to a lot of Carole King and um, a lot of Joni Mitchell and Linda Ronstadt when I was writing these songs, and they're not afraid to kind of get personal and draw from their own experiences and lay it bare. And I've always done that, but maybe dressed it up a little bit differently in previous projects. Whereas this time I just kind of tried to say it the first way that I said it.
I bet from a crowd perspective too, I wonder if you can feel the difference when you're playing different types of songs. And I'm asking this because last week we did a music listening event here in Denver where I live, and we had artists suggest songs for other musicians to listen to. We had a mix of everything you could imagine, and the one that absolutely had everyone completely quiet was a Tom York song, pretty recent one called "Unmade" from Suspiria. Tom, a piano, little bit of like some background kind of white noise that he had just kind of underlying the whole thing, pin drop. And it was amazing to just kind of be on the stage, but looking out and realizing everyone was kind of leaning into it. Can you feel that, from where you are? Is that something that you notice?
Absolutely. And like we know Tom, he can do it all. He can get really
Yeah.
loud, but you can also draw people in. And I think, if I zoom way out, this is not my first album. This is my fourth full length that I've done. And I think our live show, I try and mimic this. I want dynamics. We're going to get really loud and energetic, but then there should also be that moment that feels super intimate. And then we have to bring people back up again. And I want to kind of exhaust all those emotions. And I think this album is my point in my set of life, where I'm trying to just get people to lean in a little bit more. Because it's been a really loud couple last years, I think, collectively. And while we have drama and theater on this record, I think subject wise, it's more, I needed some self-soothing, and I think that people will hopefully be soothed as well hearing that.
So how do you balance the vulnerability that's required for songwriting like that with just protecting yourself?
When I figure that out, I'll let you know. But my bass player Judd's always telling me to protect my chi, protect your chi, when he can see that I'm getting burnt out a little bit. And I think that my whole life I've been telling myself I'm an extrovert. I'm an extrovert. This is why I chose what I do. But I'm definitely an extrovert introvert, and I have to take quiet moments as well. And I think a lot of performers are.
Right. Over time, do you feel like your songwriting, it's transformed as you've grown and experienced new things? Do you find yourself revisiting past songs, seeing them in new light?
All the time. All the time. Especially when you have had a record done, for a couple months like I have, and I'm listening to a lot of these again in a context of a couple months having passed since I wrote them. I mean, one song is I was considering for my record Have a Seat, and that has evolved so much. I think musically I was able to execute it so much better this go around than I would have been. But subject wise, I think that songs are meant to evolve, and you should be gleaning new meaning to them, as you carry it with you.
I hear you. I hear you. Amanda had asked you, and you mentioned about George Floyd cultural issues. How do you approach incorporating these themes into your song without sacrificing, I guess, what you'd call the artistic integrity of a lyric? Is in like often I think political things fall flat in retrospect because they're attached to a single moment.
Yeah. Well, this song was definitely catalyzed by all the emotions that moment evoked. I didn't put dates and citations in the song because I want it to be timeless. And I also don't want to take up the oxygen of more informed people than myself when it comes to certain topics of activism. I don't think that it is every artist's responsibility to speak to everything going on, because I think sometimes other voices need to be amplified. I do think that if anyone wants me to signal which way I believe things should be, then I'll offer my opinion. And I also think that art is inherently political. Art is inspired by what we're all going through, and to tell anyone to like shut up and sing or whatever terrible things people say to artists, it's just unrealistic. We don't live our lives that way. We can't just put confines around things that are meant to blur together and be messy.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.